All right, we're going to be graphing some trig functions with changes. The first one we have here is y is equal to the cosine of x minus pi. Quick reminder that a cosine function normally starts at the top, starts at the maximum, and it comes down and it kind of looks like a tulip like that. If I got up a little bit higher. Normally it looks like that. This is going to have a change, and it's going to go pi units to the right. We always do, if it's in parentheses, you do the opposite thing. So it's going to be shifted over pi units to the right. Period stays the same, so I'm going to do 4 tick marks, and I'll call the fourth tick mark 2 pi. The highest it's going to go is 1, the lowest it's going to go is -1. But I'm going to shift pi units to the right. So how many tick marks is pi units? Well, if 4 tick marks are 2 pi, then 2 tick marks would be pi. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more tick marks here at the very end. I'm going to just kind of dot this since I'm shifting to the right pi. My graph is really going to look much like this, except for I'm taking my y-axis and shifting it over. So I will start at the maximum point, now that I shift it over, and then I cut the axis. I'll reach the minimum, and then I cut the axis, and then I reach the maximum again. So the graph would look similar to this. Now on your test, they're not going to just show it just like this. They're going to at least graph all the way to the y-axis. So I'd continue to graph, I'd cut the axis, cut the y-axis, maybe go back up here, cut the axis again. You might want to go ahead and jot it down because you're going to have to identify which of these graphs is the one I want. So I would say on your answer sheet, sketch a picture, and then it'll be a multiple choice situation. So you'll look at the one that starts at the minimum and, you know, looks like this. Next we have a cosine function, but it has a change in amplitude. And so there's no period change, so it's still going to have 4 tick marks this way. We'll call the fourth one 2 pi. But instead of going up 1, we're going to go up 2, and we'll go down 2. When I sketch a cosine function, I start at the maximum, and then I cut the axis, I reach the minimum, cut the axis, reach the maximum. So there would be one complete cycle of our cosine function with an amplitude of 2. Probably they're not going to just show one cycle, so to get a little better idea of what it's going to look like, I'll graph a little bit more. Next thing that we have a sine function with an amplitude change, and it's going to be shifted down 2 units. So the amplitude is 3, but it's shifted down 2 units. There's no period change, so I can do that like normal. But it's going to be shifted down 2. So I'm going to kind of put a dotted line. It's kind of like my x-axis is shifted down. So from this new axis, I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3. This will actually be my maximum point. Then I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3. This will be, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5, -5. I'll still put my 4 tick marks like always, and we'll call the fourth one 2 pi. Maybe I'll do a little bit over here also. Remember that a sine function, like that's just normal, goes through the origin, and it kind of looks like top hump, bottom hump, like that. So this is going to look just like that, but I'm going to start right here. This is kind of like my new origin. So I start here, then I reach the maximum, I cut the axis, then I reach the minimum, and then I cut the axis. So the picture would look kind of similar to this, kind of like taller than normal. It's got a vertical stretch. The next one would reach the minimum, then cut the axis, then reach the maximum. Might be a good idea as you're sketching this on your answer sheet to sketch a little bit more than what you think might need just as you look at it. However, on your test, when you look at this, you could even just remind yourself this is going to have an amplitude change because it's 3, and it's going to be shifted down 2. If you compared all the possible answers, it might be the only one that's really shifted down 2 units, and so that might be enough for you to figure it out.